the usual way they will do that in orthopedics. But the goal here with the rhythmic stabilization is hold the position. So if I have to have him hold the position, what will be my command? Do I do that? If I have to have him hold the position, what will be my command?
Leave my resistance, don't let me move you.
Don't let me move you is this. When you're just trying to hold the position, what should be my command?
Keep it there.
Hold the position.
Hold the position or just stay here. And will I go fast in?
No.
We go slow in. So that's why. So lie down. So the example like I gave you, you brought the patient passively into this position or actively into, and you want to do rhythmic stabilization for the shoulder. Will I just go in and perturb him?
No.
So you're probably, if you're doing this more, don't let me move you.
Okay.
Don't let me move you. So but if I'm trying to make him not let him move, my resistance is fast and quick. What will that be? If I do this, if I do this, if I do this, what is this? Is it a stabilizing reversal or is it rhythmic stabilization?
Reverse.
These are reversals. Because you're really going in fast, you're still going, I'm pushing him down, and then I'm pushing him up. So he has to use his flexors and extensors to maintain this position, but my force is strong, and my intent is to move him, doesn't really move. But when I'm doing rhythmic stabilization, I go soft. So I go, don't let me, hold your position, 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 hold your position. And then you can switch from rhythmic stabilization to stabilizing reversals. You will just have better way to document it. Does that make sense to you guys? Rhythmic stabilization, you hold the position. Stabilizing reversals, don't command us, don't let me push you. You're reversing your resistance between agonist and antagonist. There'll be a slight motion that may happen. It's an isotonic contraction. Different than maintained isotonic because you're reversing your resistance. Maintained isotonic. Similar to maintained isotonic, but we're kind of reversing it. We're changing direction. Dynamic reversals, we're actually dynamically moving the limb into motion and then reversing it the other way.
So are these kind of like a hierarchy or like a progression, so to speak?
So there's no hierarchy. There's no progression. You have to think of the very basic principle. If I have to move, what do I need to do with the rest of my body? If I want to move, like I'm moving here, being table, what does my rest of my body have to do? It has to stabilize. If I cannot even stabilize on my trunk, then I have the ability to move. You won't have the ability to move. So, in a way, yes, there's a progression, there's a regression in that, but you have to pick and choose what's your goal. If your goal is to stabilize this patient, you can do maintain isotonics, you can do stabilizing reversal, you can do isometric holds for this position, and then if you want to do movement, you might still want this patient to do stabilizing reversals while they are reaching, right? You can do, so on a sit-up. If I'm doing, so don't let me push you back, okay? Hold it, hold it, hold it, don't let me push you forward. Now what I want you to do is reach all the way to, think of this.
With the hand?
Yeah, with your hand. So if I'm here, and I want him to reach, while I notice that if patient reaches, he flops in the trunk, I'm gonna do a stabilizing reversal here. So I'm going to be like, don't let me push you back. Good. Don't let me push you forward. Now go ahead and reach for that thing. You don't start like that.
Oh,
You're
no?
gonna eventually get to that.
Okay, good.
So if patient, you need to understand, you don't jump steps. If you had a patient in here, so be a good patient. Be very floppy. If I push you here, you're gonna fall down. If I push you back, you're gonna fall down,
Yeah.
okay? So whenever he's going to reach, when you reach over here, do you use your trunk muscles to stabilize yourself? If you have to reach for this thing, and
My whole
do
body's
that,
gonna,
if you're so weak,
I'm gonna do
you're
this.
gonna do this.
Yeah.
So to reach for something, and you can apply that on yourself. If you have to reach for something, it's a very basic principle. If I have to reach overhead to the top of the cabinet, rest of my body has to be stable. So do that. You can begin with an isotonic motion, maintain isotonic. You can do a stabilizing reversal. And once you're doing that, so hold it. Don't let me push you. Good, hold it. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. Don't let me push you forward. Go ahead and try to reach. Don't let me push you forward. Don't let me push you forward.
Oh.
Don't let me push you forward. Go ahead and reach also. Don't let me push you forward. Don't let me push you forward. Don't let me push you forward. So you see, you have to use an eccentric motion while you're performing that movement. So it'll be more like a combination of isotonics happening in that while you're trying to do reaching. So techniques are very simple in the sense that you can use it on any patient that you would like to. But you will need to know what's your task, what are you trying to make the patient do, what is the weakness in this patient, can this patient even do that? That's the whole idea of problem solving for you guys, and that's how your clinical decision making happens. You have a patient, you figure out what's the problem, you figure out what's the task I'm going to do with this person, and then you're going to figure out what's the treatment. And if patient cannot do that, you regress it. If patient can do that, you progress it.
Where else, other than the shoulder, could you use rhythmic stabilization?
You tell me.
I can't really picture anything.
Why not?
Any joint.
Everywhere.
I'm just thinking as a patient, if
Mhm.
I was to do like the trunk stabilization with it, I wouldn't rock the patient back and forth.
What do you do?
I would use the stabilizing reversals instead of the rhythmic stabilization.
What do you mean, the hold position?
Yes, so where else could you use rhythmic stabilization?
Why would you have to do rhythmic stabilization with it? Why not perturbation stimulation? What do you do? How many of you take the subway? Raise your hands high up for me, please. What does the subway do to you when you're on the train?
Lots of isometrics.
It's going to rock you. So if a patient moves and you have to get them to their functional movement pattern, perturbations are a part of your environment. So you can perturb anybody, anywhere. And if the perturbation is going to be fast, and I want to do this, and he has to make, don't move, let me move you, right? Versus if I want him to go slowly, give him gentle movement. You did the rhythmic stabilization for the trunk. You can do that with parabens. You can do it with your own man of contact. You can teach the caregiver. I can have him walk. So come here, walk for me through this pathway. And I can have him go on, keep going, keep going. Good. So you're gonna have him do that. And if I were to push him, he's gonna fall forward. So depending upon what's the motion now, if I do this, he has to be very steady on his trunk if you're choosing to do perturbation. Walk again. Walk tandem for me. Yeah. Tandem. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Walk. Mm-hmm. Good. And this is the same principle while you're doing training for the patient, technically doing what? Rhythmic stabilization or stabilizing reversal. That's all that you're doing. So don't think of it as a very complicated technique. It's simple enough technique. The more you will think of this is where creativity plays a role. You're gonna think of an exercise, see how can I apply that technique. Give you a break, come back, take your time, you're full. How much break do you guys want?
15.
10 minutes?